My sister asked me to co-sign her apartment lease because her credit was bad. I said yes. Months later, I got a court notice for $9,000 in unpaid rent. She'd vanished and left me to take the fall. That's when I found out where she really was. Hey everyone, welcome back. Have you ever done something kind for a family member, only to realize it was just convenient for them, not meaningful? Yeah. That's what this is about. Here's how it all went down. It started simple. My sister, Katie, called me late one night asking for a favor. She'd finally landed a new job and found a decent apartment, but her credit was trashed from college, as she put it. She needed someone to co-sign. I hesitated, not because I didn't trust her, but because it felt big, risky. Still, she promised it was only temporary. 6 months, she said. Then I'll build my credit and refinance it myself. I said yes, because I wanted to believe her. The first 2 months, everything seemed fine. She texted me pictures of the place, told me about her new neighbors, even joked about getting a cat. Then silence. No replies, no rent receipts. Calls went to voicemail. I figured maybe she was busy, until I got a letter from the leasing office, notifying me that rent hadn't been paid in 3 months. Attached was a court date. I owed $9,043, and when I called the apartment to ask if she was still there, the manager said, "She moved out 2 weeks ago. Didn't she tell you she was relocating to Mexico?" My blood ran cold. I called every number I had for her. Cell, work, even our cousin she used to stay with sometimes, nothing. It was like she'd gone completely off the map. And the worst part? I wasn't even angry yet. Just numb. Like my brain hadn't caught up to what was happening. I went back through our old texts looking for clues. That's when I found one. A message she sent weeks ago, almost casually, thinking of visiting Tulum soon. Just need to disappear for a bit. I'd brushed it off at the time. Katie was always dramatic. But now, I opened Instagram, typed her handle. It was gone, deleted or blocked. So I searched her full name, and I found her, under a new handle, a new profile picture. Private, but the bio said it all. Son, living my soft life in Tulum spiral shell. I sat there staring at the screen. Not just because she was alive and well, sipping drinks by the beach while I was staring at a court summons, but because she'd posted a story that morning, tagged at a resort, smiling with some guy I'd never seen. And the caption? Freedom hits different when you finally stop caring what people think. I almost laughed, because apparently, that included caring if your brother was stuck holding your financial wreckage. I sat with it for a few days. The rage came in waves. First it was white hot, the kind that makes you want to book the next flight to Mexico and ruin someone's vacation. Then it simmered into something colder, more focused. I wasn't going to chase her down and scream at her in public. No, I was going to make her regret thinking she could vanish without consequences. First, I contacted the leasing office and asked for every document tied to the lease. I made sure they sent me scanned copies of her signature, mine, the rent breakdown, everything. Then I filed a police report. Not because I thought they'd go arrest her in Tulum, but because I needed a paper trail. Next came small claims court. I filed a civil suit. Fraud. Breach of contract. Damages. I also messaged her directly, one final text. You lied. You vanished. You stuck me with your debt. Now you can explain it to the court. No reply, but I saw her read it. 3 days later, she unblocked me on Instagram and posted another story, this time, a selfie with a caption that read, "You can't sue someone who's out of the country face-blowing a kiss." But what she didn't realize was that you can if they ever plan to come back. And Katie? She'd never survive without the attention. She would come back. And when she did, she'd find out I wasn't just the brother who used to fix her bike or lend her money. I was the guy who kept every receipt. She came back 6 months later. I knew the moment she landed, not because she told anyone, but because our cousin posted a group photo at a backyard barbecue. There she was, front and center, holding a margarita like nothing ever happened.
No tan.
No stress, no shame. I waited a week. Then the court papers were served, at our aunt's house, where she was crashing until she figured things out. According to my cousin, she didn't take it well. Screaming, sobbing, swearing up and down that I was ruining her life. But when she called me, finally, her voice was sugar-coated. "Hey, I think there's been some sort of misunderstanding," she started. I let her talk. Let her squirm. Let her dig the hole a little deeper. Then I cut in. There's no misunderstanding, Katie. You stole. You lied. And now you're being held accountable. This isn't personal. It's legal. Dead silence. Then, do you really want to do this to your own sister? You're not my sister when you act like a scam artist, I said. You're just another person who took advantage of my trust. Click. No apology. No explanation. Just silence again. Except this time, I had the upper hand. The court date came fast. Katie showed up late, flustered, wearing a suit that still had the tag tucked into the sleeve. Her makeup was perfect, her expression smug, like she thought this was just a formality, something she could charm her way out of, but she hadn't read the paperwork closely enough. Because I wasn't just suing for the unpaid rent. I was suing for damages, missed work hours, emotional distress, the legal fees I'd racked up cleaning up her mess. I had documentation, printed emails, payment history, even screenshots of her Instagram stories, each one timestamped during the months she claimed to be struggling financially. The judge barely let her speak. Every time she tried to redirect the conversation or blame me for making this harder than it needed to be, he shut it down, reminded her that she had signed the lease, that her vacation posts contradicted her claims of hardship. The ruling? I won. She was ordered to pay me the full amount, plus interest and court costs. As we walked out of the courthouse, she caught up to me on the steps. You didn't have to take it this far, she said, eyes glassy but voice bitter. I stopped, looked her in the eyes. You left me drowning in your debt, I said. This was the kind version. You should be glad I didn't take it further. Then I turned and walked away. And for the first time since this all began, I felt like the ground under me was solid again. After the ruling, she tried to ignore it. Months passed without a single payment. She changed her phone number, blocked me again, stopped showing up to family events. But that didn't stop the system. Garnishments started. Her new job, the one she bragged about on social media, was legally obligated to comply. I didn't gloat. I didn't post about it. I just watched the slow, quiet machine of justice do what it does best. Follow the paper trail. Our family caught on eventually. Not because I said anything, but because she did. Katie started spinning her own version of the story, that I was controlling, that I never helped her, that I sued her out of jealousy. But people talk, and receipts don't lie. My aunt called me one night, said she was sorry for doubting me, said she'd seen the court documents, said Katie was couch surfing again, trying to find herself. I told her I wasn't angry anymore, and I meant it. I didn't feel hate, or even disappointment, just distance, the kind that protects. Because sometimes you have to love someone from far away, far enough that they can't touch your life, your peace, or your credit report. And in that distance, I finally found what Katie never could. Accountability. Changed everything, not all at once, but piece by piece. I started looking at trust differently. Not as something automatic, but as something that needed to be built brick by brick. No more benefit of the doubt, just because someone shared my last name. No more blind loyalty dressed up as love. It didn't make me cold, just clearer. I stopped overextending myself. Financially, emotionally, even socially. When friends asked for favors that felt lopsided, I paused before saying yes. I asked questions, set boundaries, and surprisingly, the people who respected those boundaries stuck around. The ones who got offended disappeared. My relationships grew stronger, not weaker. I also became more honest with myself about how much of my identity had been tied to being the reliable one. The fixer, the helper, the guy everyone called when they were in trouble. Katie used that part of me. But Elena, the woman I started dating a year later, never did. She noticed when I flinched at certain conversations about money. Noticed when I tensed up around sudden requests. And instead of judging me, she asked, listened, said, "You don't have to carry everyone." Sometimes that sentence alone felt like a kind of healing. Because I'd spent years thinking being needed was the same as being loved. Now, I knew better. Being loved meant being seen, and being protected. Even from your own bad habits. Last week I checked my credit score. It had fully recovered. The debt was paid. The court case closed. No more letters. No more alerts. No more waking up in the middle of the night wondering what disaster might land in my lap next. Just a clean slate. I stared at that screen longer than I expected. Not because of the number, but because of what it represented. Not revenge. Not even justice. Clarity. The kind that only comes after the storm, when you finally see what survived and what didn't. And maybe more importantly, what shouldn't have. I don't hate Katie. I don't think I ever truly could. But I also don't miss her. And I've stopped waiting for an apology that may never come. Because the truth is, I already gave myself the closure she never could. I learned how to forgive without forgetting, how to rebuild without rescuing, and how to love without losing myself in the process. Some lessons come softly, others come like wrecking balls wearing your sister's smile. But either way, you learn. And when you do, you don't just survive, you grow.